Those strong formative years at USC came with plenty of distractions. Being a Trojan meant that Rocky had to work harder at staying focused. The success in Coach Seto's life is defined by his relationship with God. Today, Rocky helps the student athletes focus in on many of those same principles.
No one's perfect. I was here as a student athlete, and I could attest to you, there's a lot of distractions, a lot of downfalls, a lot of pitfalls, but hopefully we're able to guide their focus, and hopefully we're able to keep them in as much as we can in the narrow path.
Rocky's very sensitive to where God's going to move and lead. He's not in love with this world. That's one thing I've noticed about him. If God says to do something in Scripture, he will do it. If the Spirit speaks to him to do something or not to do something, Rock's not going to do it. The things that might make sense on this planet, some of the decisions, Rock's not chosen because God has not been in it. One of the things that we discussed is, what is God calling you to do? And to ferret that out is not a science. And I don't believe it's even an art. I believe it's a relationship.
Rocky also understands the thrill and celebrity-like status of being connected to an outstanding sports association like SC. Often, student athletes need to be reminded of the importance of staying focused on what they are passionate about. Having focus on the wrong goal can cost them their intentional beginnings.
As much as I love USC football represents the world as the pinnacle of what the world provides, which is fame, excitement, a lot of attention. All those things that are certain trappings for a young guy, and coaches too, you know, not just the players, and that's a interesting dynamic that they have to deal with in order to perform as a student in the classroom, and then as an athlete, and then socially as well. So there's a lot of distraction. What we try to do is, it's all about capturing their focus, making sure that they're focused on capturing the main things, and then not allowing the distractions come in to interfere. So we always talk about what's important to them. If you love something, football or school, you do everything to protect it. That means your actions that you take off the field should reflect how much you love football, how much you love school, how much you love God. Having the love for God is what should drive your whole being, your focus, your motivation, the decisions that you make, how you respond to triumph or defeat. All that stuff's about, it reflects how you view God.
He does love the young men that God brings his way, and he takes it very seriously that God has allowed him to steward their lives in this way. And so, with that same seriousness, he approaches his game planning. With that same seriousness, I've seen him in his evaluations of guys. He's looking at their personal development, obviously for the overall betterment of the team, because the goal is to win at USC, but the purpose is, that's a whole different issue. The purpose is to build whole people in God's way. That's the purpose. So to marry those two and to blend those two, Rocky's done very well.
Being a strong leader could be tough for many young coaches, especially while under the supervision of a gifted head coach like Pete Carroll. But for Rocky, understanding and capitalizing on Coach Carroll's maximization principles encourage and push him towards excellence. At USC, each coach works under the philosophy, each one maximizing their own potential individually to become successful as a whole. Preparing for success at USC includes long hours of homework and practice, which in turn requires personal sacrifice and discipline. Each coach needs to make necessary contributions for the team to have the best chance for overall success.
It's all about the preparation. We have a saying with the DB group, trusting in your preparation is, if you prepare as well as you can, you should have a great level of confidence based on your preparation, not because of an empty confidence or cockiness. It's about your preparation. Their God-given talent compiled with great preparation. You should feel confident. To me, that's the essence of maximum performance. Being able to focus and to capture the time, just like us here on the team, and Coach talks about always maximizing the opportunities, whether it's meeting time or practice time, whatever's going on right there, that's where our focus needs to lie. And Coach Carroll always talks about playing without fear. You know, you can't play scared. If you're prepared and you know you're talented, what is it to be scared about? From 6:30 in the morning to by the time we get to practice time, it's all about preparing to have a great practice. Film review, meetings, drawing up cards and routes so that they could see the certain formations and routes that they see. And then we get to the practice fields, about 2 hours of just intensity. I always tell the players, practice time is my time, game time is your time. So I feel like I have a little bit of control to orchestrate what happens in practice. And then after that, practice is over. All of us coaches, we grab some dinner, we grab a box, and then we head upstairs and watch film. And then we'll talk about the defense again and what their offense is trying to do. We'll be done around 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's a lot of film study, it's all about preparation, preparing to have a great practice. You know, think about that, you know? It's all about that. And any school teacher will be able to relate, preparing to have a great lesson plan, same thing. We have executing well in practice, studying, scrutinizing what we did at practice that day, talking about it some more, and then go home, wake up and do the same thing all over again. So we just totally rely on our preparation, even as coaches, because we've been through this. Even during scrimmage situations, we'll have this banter going on back and forth with each other. Practice has to be harder than the games, meaning the guys that you go against, the talent, the intensity that you see in the practice field. We try to mimic as much as we can to game time. And as a matter of fact, some of our players have said, man, coach, it feels like slow motion out here during the games. And that, to me, that's like one of the highest compliments you could get as a coach, and how well you prepared the guys. So those are what we're looking for, and yeah, it's pretty fun.